T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh, we're live. I totally forgot an idiot to share it today to get people right. So, yeah, sorry about that.
I'm posting on the FC. I'll share it out in a second.
Yeah. Hot diggity. Worked out that I got the Incel Lord, the Rookie Critic on here.
I'm the Rookie Critic, so you don't have to. You're welcome.
Oh, it's like you know what happened to your rookie? Fascism. That's what happened to you.
Oh yeah, that's the new fun word.
That's a new meme.
Oh, like Batman?
Yeah. The ultimate fascist. Indeed.
Yeah, I actually got a video that I recorded reacting to the Blue Beetle, and my whole end of it is like, yeah, superheroes are fascist. That's not good or bad. It's just a thing. Fascism is not bad. It's like socialism. You can be grades of it. The library is a socialist element. Are we communists now because we go to the library? Like, that's my viewpoint. Like, any group or government is, in a sense, fascism. Like, it's all about like the symbol, the binding together, unity. Unification of humanity is fascism.
Oh my god!
So do not buy into the rhetoric. Like, everyone's freaking out about that because the meme of fascism is Hitler. Well, and so no one wants to. No, we're not that. And the guy I like, if I like Batman and he's a fascist, that means I like Hitler. Like that is the defensive nature of this.
Well,
like,
it's the
be like
argument.
the guy at the Redskins game, or I think it's Redskins. It was like F Joe Biden. They're like, oh, that's racist. Like, yeah, oh, we're racist. Yeah, we're racist. Like, that's what you need to do. Just, I don't care about your labels or the spin. Yeah, I'm fascist, I guess, because I like Batman. Whatever. Like,
well, it's the leftist arguing technique. You know, I blame the Daily Show. What they'll do is they'll invent a term, demonize that term, like use it as a punching bag, and then ridicule it, make it whatever, and then they label anybody that like disagrees with them or defies their dogma as part of that term that they made up, like incel, or like this is all Marxist language that was invented less than a decade ago. You know, like what was
exactly.
it like before 2000? Seriously, like 20 years ago, have you ever heard of like male privilege or mansplaining? Like, those aren't real words.
I'd love to have them have that in a fantasy, and like a time traveler person gets back and says that to them, and they're just like,
"What does that mean?"
Oh, what? I am male. What?
You heteronormative? Well, yeah. If it wasn't normal, none of us would be here. Yeah.
Disagree.
It's that South Park episode with the goobacks.
Oh no, I've thought about like the state of humanity we're at. Like, we can make babies without any intercourse. Like, we've crossed that threshold. Like, this idea of the gays are gonna gay bomb the world and babies. And it's like, well, like, if everyone wants to be gay, then like I guess that's just the end of us. Like,
we've gotten I guess my point was is that we've gotten to the point now where it's different, but in order to get where we are now, heterosexuality needed to be normal. Otherwise, our population would be vastly different. Like, it would either not exist or there'd be very smaller pockets. You know what I mean? Like now we have the technology. We can in utero, or we can clone babies and stuff.
I mean, it might be splitting hairs, but it's like, I think if we instituted like a Spartan system of like state-inspired homosexuality, and then it's like also state-enforced heterosexuality afterwards. Then like, oh, you're not going to have a straight relationship with a woman? Well, you're taxed, and so Like,
I'm all for Heinlein personally, but you know.
yeah, you don't have to be straight. You can be fluid in that spectrum. Like, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. It's like, yeah, it's whatever. People get so hard on like we got to do this or that. It's the Batman, you know. Everyone's so fascist with their thinking of left and right. But yeah, we got Rookie. Do you know what we got today?
We've
Say
got
no.
it.
Say
What?
no. Say no.
I know.
No, just say no.
No. What do we have?
Oh God, that hurt.
Rookie.
It kind of
That's
looks like
God,
a
that
former
hurt.
coworker. Okay.
Yeah, we got Eric Ninaltowski. I hope I said that right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nailed
Hell
it.
yeah.
Nice.
I practiced a bit. Well, because like I like learning language, so I'm like piecing out like Ninaltowski, and I like fuse it like boom.
I felt like
yeah, we got you here with the Shadow Sentry Origins #1. I'm going to share that on the screen. It's in the description and the comments for y'all to back. What? Tell us about yourself, and it doesn't have to be comic oriented. Just of course, tell us the book. But
yeah, man, I've been drawing for about professionally 15 years, but I got into comics as a kid. Just always loved them. Fell in love with the art form. Fell in love with the X-Men, all the X books. Then slowly I was like, all right, I love creating. I had I was able to draw a little bit, and everybody encouraged me to keep going with it. So I went to art college, and then finally got an internship with a small comic company. And yeah, man, just been pursuing my dream, my goal. And then in 2020, I launched Shadow Sentry Book 1, and now I'm on to book #3. This one's it's not of the regular series, but it's like an origin story, obviously. But I'm going to the backgrounds, going to the backstories of a few characters, and super excited for it. So,
hell yeah!
And thank you for having me, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, it took me a minute to get in. I went to Kroger the other day, and I'm like, what cereal do I want? I need fiber, and I need dietary fiber, not insoluble. And so wheat checks turns out to be like the best besides shredded wheat. So I'm like, and just a spoonful of sugar in a bowl. Like, I don't know what it is, man. The simplest things can be so gratifying. And so I had to down another bowl. That was the delay.
Kidding me.
But yeah, no. So I have a trend lately, especially backing books. I just scroll Indiegogo or Kickstarter. I'm like, well, that looks cool. And then I see if it has any substance in the art. And if so, I'll back it if I have the money or if it's like a cheap enough tier. And luckily you got your digital and the add-on digital and the add-on afterwards. So can't wait to read them all. Yeah, I know nothing about your book. Haven't watched the trailer because I like to take it in fresh during these streams if I can.
Nice.
So your artwork and your team, that you sold the book with the image.
Cool, man. Good to hear. Yeah, I can tell you about the book, or do you want to watch the trailer first?
We'll let the supporting cast decide.
Let's do the trailer, and then he can add any commentary and other information as we go.
Oh, that's man.
An awesome trailer.
unhappy, uneasy, dissatisfied. There is a great disturbance, causing affliction to this frail and broken mind.
Oh,
Integer.
Nice.
That's I like that.
Cool deal.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was. I like it. I like
Hell
the
yeah.
choice. There was something because me and Ricky are slowly going through South Park. The way it ends right here of awesome. I like it.
Super corny, but you know.
Yeah, so tell us about the book. Tell us
Yeah, so
the series of Shadow Sentry and then this specifically.
yeah, to give you guys sort of the background, the Shadow Sentry universe is basically the idea behind it is humans have near-death experiences, and then when they go to the other side and they come back, they bring a piece of the eternal with them. So they're bringing, paranormal abilities, supernatural abilities, and then thus, superhumans are born. So I've always dug the X-Men growing up, so I wanted something similar, but I didn't want mutants. I wanted like a new take on it, and so I came up with something like that. I like stories that are super easy to relate to. So Heaven and Hell, I dig that. So it's built around that. So near-death experiences, you have the Hellborn, those that go to hell and come back, the Highborn, those that go to heaven and come back. And then in book 1, I introduce, the Shadow Sentry, Commander Noble. He is the leader of the Shadow Sentry. He's indestructible. So he falls in love with a Hellborn. They have a child. That's Jason Augustine. So the first story arc focuses on who that is. And he kind of gets lost. And then he pops back on the scene when he has his own near-death experience. And then the Hellborn and the Highborn are after him in the Shadow Sentry. So that kind of makes up book 1 and 2. I do have a catch-up tier on the campaign if you guys want to check that out. And so now I'm kind of slowing things down. Shadow Sentry is made up of a lot of characters, so I wanted to focus on just 2 and slow things down, kind of take it slower, develop the characters a little bit. And so I'm doing Hopscotch and Commander Noble. So that's what Origins is all about.
Hell yeah.
Let me know if you have any questions.
Pretty tight here. Pretty tight. You see, it's funny with me. I like looking at comic stuff. Like I'm like, okay, now I'll just buy it and see what it is when I read it. When I'm so stale when it comes to like responding stuff, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll look at it. Awesome. I'm sold.
No, I like the spin because it kind of reminds me of like almost like this like sweet fusion of like the movie Flatliners with a little bit of Constantine thrown in.
Yeah,
that idea that you die and you come back and you bring a piece of where you were back with you, but instead it's more of that like mutant power or that superpower instead of just really bad shit. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Hopscotch, she is a teleporting Hellborn. A little bit about her background. So her dad is Japanese, her mom is American. He's part of the Yakuza. She kind of gets caught in the middle of something and everything goes to hell. So, and literally she goes to hell. And when she comes back, she's got these awesome powers. So we're diving into her story. There's going to be ninjas. There's an awesome cyborg samurai named Akira, the Iron Demon. So we get to see him. And he's the cool big baddie we created. And then,
nice.
The artistic team, I got Mark Polton writing the script with me. Clayton Barton is doing all the breakdowns and layouts. And I'm doing the finishes. So, it's looking great. All 24 pages are done for the layouts and breakdowns. First draft of the script is done. So we've gotten a big start on this one.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a killer team, man.
How long has it taken you before to do your previous issues?
Doing them. So I would do the writing. I do the penciling and inking, and then I'd hand it off to the colors. Eric Weathers did the lettering. It would take me about a year. I think the first campaign was like a year and a few months. Second campaign, about the same. So this one I'm hoping to wrap up quicker, have it done within the year.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you supplement yourself with other artwork for commissions?
I do, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. People don't know he has a channel. He does draw streams where the first one, when they go live, I've gotten one with the Hojo's.
Yeah. I
The
got that right here.
mythicals, the mythicals. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This was this week.
Oh sweet. Look at
Yeah.
Blow
that.
you up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nancy Moon.
Yep.
Yep. Every Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Nice.
Friday. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Set your reminders.
No, I'm off. I'm off Friday actually. So you might
Put it
yeah.
on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is awesome, man. The colorist really did well too. A lot of range in your colorist work as well.
Yep. It's still on
Yeah.
me, I think. No one can see the artwork.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. That's the problem hosting. You gotta like click all these buttons.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about.
I'm looking down at the bottom here. There's the character Bloodbane
Yeah.
right there. This blue dude looks pretty tight.
Yeah, man.
It seems like such a simple kind of thing. Like there's nothing in particular about it that's drawn my attention, but it still looks cool. And it looks like, is he like punching? Is that blood on his hands? That's
Yeah. Looks like
So-
a hemomancer or something. He can shape blood.
Exactly, yeah. So he's creating kind of like these claws and like these just sharp objects.
Nice.
Yeah. It's kind of in the
Is
middle
this
there.
is this him?
No.
Nope.
A little bit
Farther down.
further.
it's under where it says other offerings.
He's red and blue.
Here, I'll show you. I got it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, so this is
Okay.
Bloodbane. He's able to manipulate blood. He has like this dark blood. He was created by Marcion, who is the main big baddie of the Shadow Sentry. Well, the Hellborn anyway. But yeah, so in book 2, he actually gets this this new look. He metamorphosizes or transforms. Metamorphosizes. I just made that up.
Transform.
Coagulation.
Yeah.
I just posted this on my Twitter page this morning, but
Oh yeah.
just a fun spread. I love doing
That looks
double page
good.
spreads.
Dude, that looks
That looks
amazing. I
tight.
love the colors too. Oh,
That looks
damn.
fucking tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
nice.
That's a poster right there.
Is his mouth? Is that a mouth or like a mask piece on his?
It's more like a mask. Yeah, it's just a mask.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Does he have like a Power Ranger transform sequence? Like, wow, wow, now,
Tyrannosaurus!
it's the power of blood.
Not quite like that, but So anyway.
Oh,
I
severed
won't explain
limb.
more. So that's So this is a new cover for book 2. I only printed 175, so it's kind of like limited, but that's on the campaign.
Oh,
Are they numbered?
No, I didn't go that route. I just only printed a limited amount.
Okay.
very cool.
Nice. Shit. Why am I so low? There we go.
Your floaty head, you look like a floaty head when you. With your
Yeah, I
camera.
just noticed. Are you wearing an Eagles hat, like a Philly Eagles hat?
I am, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Your Eagles hat.
If you don't notice, my computer room is forest green for Philly. So
Nice. I saw on your Twitter account said "Fly Eagles Fly." I'm like, yeah.
oh,
Eagles
I
fan.
guess that won you over. Most people were like, fucking Eagles. Oh man. Yeah. I'm from Oklahoma originally, so I picked Philly probably just from seeing them a lot when I started watching football because my mom's a Cowboys fan, and I was so taken aback by the wings on the current version, but like when it was new, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's so cool. And I just started. It's really just a uniform, I think. And then the more I learned, the more I realized that they're like Andy Reid would do wacky systems
Mm.
of offense and stuff. So it just endeared me. And
Nice.
yeah, man, when we won the Super Bowl, I remember I was just balling. It was funny because when I had people over, we were watching Super Bowl and the coin toss, New England won the coin toss, and I was like, yes. And they're like, what is your deal? And then it's like, oh yeah, every time New England's won the toss, they've lost the Super Bowl. So we're already to a good start.
Nice.
So
Yeah, that was such
what
a
a
good
great
win.
Super Bowl.
So
And
I'm glad
this
that-
Super Bowl, I didn't expect us to even go. So I'm not super angry about the game. We, let it slip by. Didn't adjust second half, but I hate that we were robbed of a pure chance, a chance to purely lose on our own merit.
True.
That's what I hate.
Yeah. I think Eagles, even their loss, showed themselves to be classy and above the winners. So I'll take that.
Yeah. If you don't know,
Looking,
Ladonis is also a Philly guy.
Nice.
Of course.
Walton.
Looking down a little bit more on the page, there's a chick riding on a tiger
Yes.
on there. Now, is that a giant tiger, or is that how big tigers are compared to normal people? I guess. Like,
You ever seen a Siberian tiger, dude? That
I
thing's as big as a horse.
I haven't actually like seen like a size comparison to be able to like tell like how big is a tiger to a human. So is that like that's close for average size of a tiger? Holy shit!
when I was I went to the Harvard Museum of Natural History up here in New England, and they have like all these like taxidermied animals, and dude, I swear to God, it traumatized me as like a second grader because you just see this like thin pane of glass separating you from this gigantic. Like, look at the size of that thing. That's a little one, by the way.
Yeah, it's not even a Siberian.
Yeah.
I've never seen that many good comparisons before. Like, I guess in movies or something, I haven't looked either. So,
I was like they were like the size of a German Shepherd or something, and then you see like the stuffed one. The size, it's like that thing has a saddle on its back. Holy crap!
Yeah, that's a young one right there.
Yeah, damn. Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah, I was just wondering if you're going for more like mythological. Here's a huge tiger, or it's like no, it's just a regular tiger you can just get down Siberia, whatever.
Nature's scarier.
That's for you, rookie.
Oh no!
I think I'll stop that. Thank you. Okay.
Here's a white bagel.
More nightmare fuel.
Nice.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, I feel like the same thing with wolves recently. Like they're actually like showing wolves compared to dogs and like other, I don't know, like regular ones, and it's like they're a lot bigger than you'd think they are. They seem to be depicted as smaller, and it's like whoa. So there's like a clip of a huge dog thing that was like in the woods. Like some guy had his dog out, and then this huge wolf's there, and they're like, wow, it's just like a giant rare species. It's like no, it's just a fucking wolf. Like
it's just a timber wolf.
Yeah.
No, I feel lied. My G.I. Joe guy, Snake Guy, came with this tiny one. What the hell is this thing?
Exactly.
I'm trying to find a Siberian. Here's a Siberian.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Like
yeah.
That thing could bite your head off in one chomp.
Okay, I feel like it's okay. The debate about a grizzly bear or something versus a Siberian tiger. Like I think we got a different. Tiger's gonna probably kick its ass.
Well, a Kodiak grizzly is actually much bigger than a tiger. Like a Kodiak grizzly, its head is bigger than my torso. Like it's huge. Like there was a guy.
But the thing with if you're having a bear versus a tiger will destroy a bear 9 times out of 10 because a tiger, if it's like fighting, it's not running away. A bear, you can just go and it's like, oh fuck, and it runs away. Like, like what is that?
well, there was a guy that emptied an AK-47 into a bear and it still killed him.
What is up? I'm not creative. We're just having a comic stream.
Hey,
and we got Second Street in the house. Says hopefully these guys retorts aren't like a wet paper sack. Last week's guest. Wait, what? Rob was a great guest.
Hell yeah, Rob's awesome.
Shut the hell up, Second.
Oh,
fake news.
Second Street and his controversies. That's our boy. That's our boy.
Settle it and smash.
He might be talking about the beef stream.
Horrible.
I don't know.
Possibly.
So, where are you at with modern comic at this point? Let's say 5-6 years with comic films.
I've hated. Let's see, the Eternals. I didn't really like Doctor Strange. So, I mean, I feel like after what was it? Phase 3 was over. I don't even know. I kind of lost track, but yeah, I think Marvel's struggling. Yeah, I can't think of. I saw Ant-Man. It was like, it was okay. Spider-Man: Homecoming was kind of like the last glimmer of hope, I think. So I don't have much hope in where Marvel's heading. So, yeah.
What about DC?
See, I don't have a lot of faith in James Gunn. I don't. You know, like I liked Guardians 1. 2 is like, So I don't know. I didn't even like the Suicide Squad that he did. You know, it was better than the first, but I just don't feel like he's like the guy you want to put all your eggs in that basket and just be like, oh yeah, he's going to lead us to, like, I just don't see it personally.
I feel like that one did good on characters, not great on plot and everything else. It's like very 50-50 movie for me.
I think the Suicide Squad is stupid as a template. Like, we're gonna make the bad guys do stuff because they got a bomb in their head, and it's just like that. You're the bad guy now. Like,
no, the good guys are now the bad guys.
I think it's dumb.
Well, for me, my personal take on it is like when I look at like Taika David Cohen's work, or AKA Taika Waititi, changed his name, bastard. His, like, if he can't take his own work seriously, why should I? Like that Thor: Love and Thunder, like I couldn't even finish it. Like I was just like,
it was an atrocity.
These actors,
it's an atrocity on mankind. That's true.
Yeah, and I see that with all of like Cancer. There really isn't much survival after stage 4, and we're now in what, stage 5 of Marvel.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Which they tried to do a joke like that in Thor: Love and Thunder as well.
Oh
the
God,
stages or whatever.
Yeah, I thought the so the Thor: Love and Thunder was weird because they set up where it's like, all right, well, let me use the hammer and that'll fix me, and then they show like the contrast where it's like, oh, if I'm not using the hammer, oh, the cancer, but then I got the hammer. And they should have done like a Gollum scenario where it's like she starts because she doesn't have to be worthy. It's now like a clause by Thor is imbued her with Mjolnir. So they could have done like a Gollum thing where it's like she's starting to covet this because of like how it's juicing. But this like, oh, that's killing you too. And it's like, well, what was the point of this?
When how she opened her book, found what she wanted like in 3 seconds. Went right to the place. It was like, it's just like, God, they had no idea what they're doing with that film.
Also, why wouldn't Mjolnir have already sensed this and zip right to her? You know,
I feel like Mjolnir's just been out of the equation and altogether to avoid creating her. I guess.
Well, they devalued Mjolnir in the previous movies where they said that the thunder resides within Thor and that the hammer was just a conduit. And that was where he got the axe from the giant dwarf.
Yeah, it's all messed up when you find out that Odin like captured some entity into the Uru.
Yeah,
it's also kind of weird. Yeah, that they didn't have him like mention her ever. It's kind of like, oh, I'm dead. I'm about to die. Good luck, guys. Bye, bros. Whatever. Like,
yeah.
No,
What is some of your biggest films, Eric, in comics specifically that just like really took you away? Like this is doing something for the art form.
This is comics.
Man, for comics, I mean, all right, this is because my mind ultimately like first goes to The Matrix, which wasn't a comic book movie, but it was based on like a comic book movie that they would make. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that movie just blew my mind. I don't remember how old I was. Probably still in, I guess, probably high school. But that, that first movie was just like jaw dropping. Like, so when I was creating Shadow Sentry, like I wanted something like that was like, it gives you context for everything, but it's like totally, different than what we're used to. Yeah, other than that, real comic book movies. I love Wolverine. I love Wolverine Origins. Or wait, no, not Origins, just the Wolverine movie. When he's in Japan. One. Yeah. When he's in Japan. I love when he's fighting ninjas. Give me that all day. What else? The X-Men movies never really did it for me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I liked the cartoon growing up, but the movies like just kind of lacked. But I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But anyway, what else?
What do you think of like Spawn?
Yeah, 90s.
One of those. Like, what about Steel and like the other obscure, like weird ones?
What about like the Crow?
Oh, the Crow, yeah. Well,
hell yeah,
that comic. Oh my gosh, like such a good comic. After seeing the movie, then I found out, oh, that was made from a comic because I was young and stupid. Then I tracked it down and I read that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. James O'Barr's work, that was very influential. I love that story.
Same here, man.
But Ghost Rider.
I never got into Ghost Rider. The movies, I like Nicolas Cage, but the movies were like never.
You should only watch them for the sake of Nicolas Cage and.
I'm a vampire. Ah!
Surprisingly, the second one is better than the first with how weird he is because it's the crank directors than just like, oh, look at it, piss and fire, yeah.
We're gonna go full Mandy on this one.
As far as like sense and anything superhero-y, I don't think it has any of that, but it's like funny as hell. So those are.
Did you ever see him in Mandy? That
not yet.
Oh.
That's an Angus recommend for me that I need to watch.
Dude, if you like Nicolas Cage, man, that is brought Nicolas Cage up to 11.
Yeah, see, luckily for me, like there's so many films I haven't seen that it's like I can just go into these gems that I've never seen before. That it's like, oh, look at that, sweet. So
I like Blade actually. Blade was cool.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, man.
Blade's good.
When I was a kid, I was so obsessed with Blade.
Yeah.
out of the trilogy of the films, like which one do you think captures it the best? Because each of those films seem very different compared to each other to me. They're all very they're all directed very differently.
Yeah. The first one always stands out to me, just like that scene when the blood is falling down and he's just like hacking them all to pieces. That one stands out to me, but gosh, I'm trying to remember because they made 3, right? The second one they had like Resident Evil face mouth vampires, and the third one they had Ryan Reynolds in there. I just see him as Deadpool with Blade, kind of. That's what he does.
Come on, Jessica Biel.
Yeah, Jessica Biel. Yeah, she's okay, I guess. She's so stale in that one too, though.
Yeah,
she's just like, I'm here. Hi. All right.
He's a plank.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the first one.
Yeah, first one. Did you ever see? They made a show. Did you guys see the Blade TV show?
No.
I was so confused. Like when I first got Amazon, and I was like, oh, I can buy movies on here. And then I'm like looking at Blade, and I'm like, Blade, the series, what? And I look, and there's there's a different actor, of course, playing as Blade, and some chick gets turned into a vampire, and then he's like, oh, you're going to be my secret agent vampire with the evil vampire clan or something. It's like, what? And I don't know. It's so weird. And I'm like, I only watched 2 episodes. I'm like, not for me. But they made a show.
I never seen this.
Good, because it's not worth your time.
I know the new Blade, the actor keeps making him rewrite it. He's not happy with it. I guess he's not happy. Control. So hopefully that's a good sign.
Yeah, that could do, because if you've seen Luke Cage, man, he played Cottonmouth in that, and he was the best part of the whole damn series, man. When he left, the whole series went.
Why'd they name him Cottonmouth? It's a
snake.
A snake. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because in my head I'm just like, I'm just dry tongue. I don't know.
Really
I'm like, why is it an intimidating name?
They're also called water moccasins.
Let
me show you. So they're famous because they got such a white mouth. That's what they call them that. It's a
Where did you come
thing.
from? Where did you go?
I'm thinking of Elf when he eats the cotton balls in the thing. I'm like, that's not Did he have snake
After watching
stuff?
the show, I had to look it up too. I'm like, what the heck's what's up with the Cottonmouth thing? And then okay, gotcha.
Did he have snake imagery on his costume or something? Or
The other guy did too. He was also a snake or something
Okay, I don't remember. If that's the case, then that at least makes a little more sense.
Well, it's what happens when they do these comic book adaptations and they don't.
I've never looked at them before.
Yeah,
it's a little different in the show.
Well, the whole character was rewritten in the show.
Yeah,
but when you change the costumes and everything, and you still keep the name, it's like I don't get it. Like Hugh Jackman. Why is he called the Wolverine when he's 6'3" and he's Australian and this tall? Like the whole point of the Wolverine was that the Wolverine is this tiny animal that can kick the shit out of things 10 times its size. That's why he's a short guy. He's 5'3" or something.
I am giant Wolverine.
Have they utilized any cotton-based industry for the character of Cottonmouth in Marvel? It sounds kind of like you got a black-centric, blaxploitation character, then you're Cotton. We'll utilize that for the bad guy who's black, and it's
right.
Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. Actually,
he's got a cotton gin attached to his back.
Right.
No, it's okay. It means snake. He's a snaky person. Oh, okay.
Right.
That's not better.
As soon as you say all right, black guy, and the name has cotton, and it's whoa.
well, they did that in Kill Bill, if you recall, when Vernita Green was fighting Beatrix Kiddo, and she's like, "I should have been Black Mamba. Why'd you call me Cottonmouth?" I was like, "Whoa, that's some racism going on. I see that Cotton connection."
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it was when they were fighting, like right after the kid came home or whatever, and they're fighting in the kitchen just before.
Right. That. Oh yeah, you're right.
I was like,
I forgot about that fight.
I was like, I can see why she's upset. I'd be pretty pissed too.
I did like the new Batman movie. I liked it a lot. Actually,
last week the guy hated it.
Really? No, all right, but here's my thing with the Penguin. I felt like he was the Penguin in name only.
Mhm.
Like, what else did he have? He didn't have like the walking stick. Yeah, like
Hey, he waddled for a second when he was when his feet was tied. He was like, "Hey, come on, I'm
he
tiny,
didn't have
man."
3 fingers.
Well, did you ever see the Adam West? Somebody did like the Adam West remix of the trailer for the Batman, and it makes it like 100 times funnier. Like all the Biff the Baps are in neon and stuff.
Yeah, did he show that trailer in this or something? Or is like
Yeah.
We'll show Eric.
Oh God.
Intense.
Yeah, I mean they kept true to the original Penguin in that. He's like driving away going. It's all Burgess Meredith.
I would fly away, but I'm a flightless bird, Batman.
Although it's better than the Danny DeVito, whatever that black sludge was coming. Like I remember, like there was an argument, like the toy company was like, "We can't make toys of this shit. This is gonna scare kids. It's like a Humpty Dumpty with a black sludge nose."
A little boy would love to have it on his shelf for sure. Because it's very scare
Here
his sister
is the
with.
trailer.
Abominable outlaws. I swear by heaven, I'll kill you all. All adds up to a sinister riddle.
Hello, Batman speaking.
What kind of creature would gobble up a bird in a tree?
The Penguin.
How come Batman doesn't dance anymore? You grace us with your presence.
The whole world in our grasp. Prepare Batcopter for immediate takeoff.
To the Batmobile.
Yeah, the classic.
Some days you just can't get rid of the bomb.
That's great.
Adam West.
Dude, that guy chews up every scene.
Man.
Oh my God. Just the effort that guy put in to find those clips to splice it is jaw dropping. It's like, God.
Seriously.
That guy
I must complete this. Billy, you need to go to school. No, Mom, I must complete the Batman trailer. Why?
Alas,
Because
my
it's
magnum
funny.
opus. Yeah, because it's funny. We teach him wrong.
Kung Pao. Yes. So Eric, I'm not sure. Are you I know you got a lot of CG in your chat I've seen, but do you consider yourself comic skate or are you on
I
the
do.
fringe? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with all the basic principles. I mean, DC Marvel has just kind of chucked all their fan base to the side and disenfranchised everybody. And as a fan too and a creator, it was like I was in the same boat as everybody else. It's like I want good content. I'm tired of these idiots destroying my favorite heroes growing up. And so when I heard about Comicsgate, I was like, yes, like this is what we need. We need kind of like a new breath of fresh air. We need new creators creating new stuff. So then also it was like, okay, well, these are the fans I want to get my book to. You know what I mean? Because always growing up, it's like, oh, I want to work for Marvel. I want to work for DC. But then when you see what they're doing, it's like, no, I don't want to work for them anymore. And then, I have my own ideas. I have my own stuff I want to create. And it's like, that's the fan base I want to reach. So I'd consider myself Comicsgate.
Hell yeah, man.
Do you feel do you feel it's just conservative, or like are you? Does that factor into why you came?
I mean, I am conservative. So I guess partly would factor into it. But I feel like Comicsgate is friendly to everybody, whether you're, black, brown, gay, whatever, like it doesn't matter, you can find something for everybody there. So yeah, and we don't discriminate. So I think we're doing it right.
Yeah, no, I think CG's a good template of I don't know. Sometimes, like with this Blue Beetle thing, I get irritated because of our side's reactions. It was like the Batman. A lot of people got butthurt when she says, "Oh, white privilege," and everyone's like, "Ah," And I see it as like, I don't think it's woke to include a character that would say that, especially in her case. She's got, even though he's like Italian, the actor, her father has essentially raped the community for his own sake. And for all intents and purposes, even though he's Italian, he's white. And her mother's been killed because of this guy. And she's in poverty. She's a cat burglar for a reason. I think it's fine to include woke perceptions of characters. How do you feel about that?
Well, with that in particular, like it was kind of like I was like, so I kind of expect that kind of stuff, in the movies nowadays. So yeah, it's like I'd rather have it without it. You know what I mean? Because it's like when I see a superhero movie, when I read a superhero comic, it's like I don't want the world as I know it necessarily. I want to be taken out of the world and entertained. So, but it's like when the comics that I'm reading become so much like the political, realm around me, it's like, come on, I'm reading this to get away from all that, So when it filters into the movies and the comics, it's just kind of like, when it takes it too far, then I'm like, I'm out. Like, I don't even want, you know what I mean? But the Batman line, it was just like, kind of like, whatever,
It's George Lopez saying it, and like it's just an out of context scene, and they might be like, "Oh, shut up, Uncle," whatever. And it's like, just marketing wise, probably they just did that, I think, to get reactions. That's pretty much all that's for. That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, it's like Dylan Mulvaney.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of companies now over the last couple of years have gotten a good testing of like, oh, if we do this kind of thing, people will react to it. Things that don't, like the movie 65, don't get any attention at all. So it's like,
he's always trying to throw 65 in conversation.
Well, I'm not trying to. It's just the most recent example I have of there's nothing controversial in that film, and it did really poor. And it's like other, film like Barry's talking about Blue Beetle. If they didn't say the fascist line, people would just be talking about that's designs, whatever, and nobody would really care. But now it's like an up in arms thing. So
no, dude, I was hyped because like I'm a big fan of Cobra Kai. Like I fell in love with that series from season 1 on. Like, and it's got like all the tropes in it. But I feel like Johnny watching that be like when he's like, I'm gender fluid. He's like, yeah, I could get some of that too. Like completely like I don't care about that shit. Like that's stupid. But at the same time, like they pushed in that garbage, but they showed like how ridiculous it was. It was like, okay, you be you over there. Just don't put that shit in my dojo. And it worked out really well.
Having characters that go against it instead of just all for it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a lecture. It was like an even-sided, like, we're going to push both sides, and we're not going to tell you which one you should be thinking or how you should feel. And I'm also all behind... What's up?
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, just to finish. I'm all behind the actor there that played Miguel. That guy's awesome. So going into Blue Beetle, when I saw some of the daily production stills, I was like, okay, this could be cool. This could be cool. And then just the absolute hatred in the comments when that trailer came out. And I don't know if it was because of the dumb freaking fascist quote at the end or what, but it was like me personally, like I'm not super excited for it. I'm not hating it. I'm like, it looks pretty good. It looks like kind of like a Shazam. It has this kind of the same. It looks like a Iron Man meets Shazam kind of thing, with a little bit of Alien in there. And I'm like, yeah, it looks like it'll be a good, dumb, fun movie. But just there's no more of these like gray areas of feelings anymore because of social media. Yeah, everybody is either like, this is garbage, like this is the second coming of Hitler, or this is like the greatest thing in the world, and it's like, you can like just casually not like something or casually like something and be totally fine with it. Like,
well, I think it's the algorithm stuff feeds that,
Yeah.
You get the YouTube incentivizes like extremes. Same with Twitter, because it's like if you're just like, it was whatever, you'll get maybe 100 likes and retweets. But if you're like, I hated this thing, it's an attack on Western civilization. This is destruction of America, or yes, this is exactly what when I saw this, my reaction, really deep diving, is, you want to sell, it's like, woo, Latin character lead, woohoo. And it's like, I'm watching this and you're selling like a Black Panther music to it, and it
it actually had it actually had Batwoman theme. It's similar at the end. It's like dun 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 dun. It's like very similar to that. If you listen to it, it's like almost the same thing.
Yeah, it's like I don't necessarily go to movies to, I want to see representation. Like, I don't care. But if you do it, I want to see some depth. Like, if you show a trans character, actually show like, man, I got like friends in this community and some of them kill themselves because they're dysphoria. Like, actually be real. That would be endearing. There would instantly be people in our sphere like, oh my God, they have a trans. It's woke.
But have you seen Dallas Buyers Club?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
that's my favorite Leto role because he dies. I hate Jared Leto. But yeah, depth like that. When I see this trailer, being aware of an angle to sell it is the representation. It's like, I don't really like, there's little elements of like an extended family, but I want to see it. The music should sound like, what is it? It's in LA, right? It should sound like Chicano or whatever, like sub variant of American Mexicans. Yeah. And there seems to be no inclusion of actual Mexican American or Latin American culture.
Yeah, it seems like it's just Americans. It fits right in with Shazam. Honestly, it's like I can't tell the difference really.
Yeah,
with it. But what sucks too is that they try to go so funny with it, like humor, and I'm like, the symbiote when the scarab goes on his face and then it's like transforming him, like, and the friends are just going, like, it seems more comedic than it is like freaky, and I'm like, if you remove them from it or have it taken more seriously, like, this could be a dark little scene here, but you're like freaky, like and like a little weird to adjust to, but it's like, haha, in this weird and funny loop-de-doo. I'm like, I hate that kind of tone. I don't know, like, because isn't DC supposed to be at least a little bit more gritty or a little bit more
well, the cartoons
feel a little more real, like, wow, like Superman is here, and it's like, oh, if it's not supposed to be like a Looney Tune land, whoop-de-doo.
Well, you heard like so. The animated division of Warner Brothers that made like the animated films, like those can go dark, and in my opinion, those things have been knocking it out of the park. But like, if you look at the opposite of that, you look over at Marvel's side. Marvel has all these stupid stipulations in place, like a male character cannot punch a female character on screen, like they can only be thrown, like stupid things like that. It makes the whole thing stupid.
Dude, one of my favorite parts of Endgame is when he punches Captain Marvel off the screen. I'm like, yes!
Everybody clapped and everybody cheered in the theater.
Well, I think at that point too, everybody's heart sank. Like, is she gonna beat him? No. And then it's
think of it this way. What's so irritating when you start putting this series together, like within the universe's context, not even comics. She gets her powers from the space gem, so that's like teleportation. So she's like a Superman character because of a space stone. From the goo from the engine. All right. Now Thanos has all 6 stones, including the Power Stone, which in the comics he beats like the most powerful thing in the universe. And in Infinity War he beats the fuck out of Hulk, and he wasn't even using the stone. That's how like skilled he is, And then you get Captain Marvel when he's got the stones, and she's based off the Space Stone, and he's almost like beaten right there. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like quivering in fear when he tried to headbutt her and failed. He's like, "Whoa, what?"
they missed it though, because they should have had like another Hulk versus Thanos scene, and I was like waiting for it. I'm like, when's Hulk gonna try and get his comeback? And I thought they missed that. They could have totally had him face him.
For some reason, they love little soy boy Hulk.
Soy
I'm
Hulk,
Mr. Smart Man. I don't know. I don't want to fight really. No.
Well, it's because they want to emasculate. Like, if you haven't noticed, every symbol of a masculinity in the Marvel universe has either been killed off, has been reduced to comic relief, or has been retired in some way. Like every character is like Loki is now a joke. Remember how scary Loki was in the first Avengers? I am a god, you know. And now he's like getting kneed
Rips
in the
guy's
crotch
eyeball
by-
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now he's like just a punchline, like because Marvel can't stand masculinity. Like the only form of masculinity they believe in is one that should be subservient to women. And it's so obnoxious watching that. Like when they did that scene in Endgame where they did the girl boss, where they did the pan with all the characters, there was a collective groan in the audience. Like I wasn't even really paying attention. I'm like, oh, there's a bunch of shit going on. What do we? And you just hear,
Yeah.
oh god.
All
I'm like,
that goes
oh,
through our
okay.
heads is the boys meme of like the girls get it done.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they were making fun of. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, right here. So some of the misguided angles of this trailer. This is one. This is a little bus scene. All right, so let's watch. Pause it. All right, he's cutting through. Right here, that woman. She just looks like, oh, there's a guy.
Yeah,
There should be like
She looks
Yeah.
looks bored as fuck on
That
her
extra should
public
be fired.
transit. And then
Yep.
what is this woman doing? She's just like got her hand here.
oh.
Maybe she's
Oh,
about
no.
to grab the seat, but she's just like,
See, I feel like
Uh,
somebody should have lost a hand or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or their
Like somebody's
toe.
like holding onto a burnt cigarette and stub, like for a hand.
like
Ah!
his reaction's actually fine because he's just like, oh god, this is happening, and he's like,
I feel like
He's
that's
doing
why
fine.
they have. I feel like that's why they have it like that. I guess.
and then yeah, he's even like, oh my god, what is happening?
And then
Great-
they're all like,
great
"Oh
on
no,
his-
Prometheus!"
And then yeah, the middle one, the one that was in the middle behind his head, she's just still like, huh, the bus is getting cut in half.
Times a dozen.
And then okay, they get these actors, they specifically shoot on
They're,
them.
they're starting to get it a little.
Yeah,
They're like this one's like, oh my god. The woman on the right here is just like,
I love if one of them sticks their arm out. Hey, I'll touch it. Ah!
Let me see if there's any more of this.
It's like, does this injure people or kill them? Like that definitely has to be addressed. Like, how many
Right.
you send
This
to the
is also
hospital
from
that
the
day?
universe
Like,
that the first film you lose what, like 400,000 people, I think is the estimate. And
40,000,
Snyder-
400,000, something
Snorty-
like that. Yeah.
Snorty. Snyder is going for like Greek tragedy, which is like arguable, but whatever. At least there's like, oh, there's chaos, there's detriment. Women, people are trapped under rubble, and also the world machine's about to like pulsate out to them and kill them, and they're just kind of like coming to terms with like, I'm dead. And then
Oh,
it's like,
no.
oh, he just cuts through a bus with an alien tech, and they're just like, huh.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the one thing that
Tired
all,
of living.
there's so many of these superhero movies that really, I feel like they'd be really good just to have a simple movie where it's like they acknowledge the people around a little bit more. Like this little scene here shouldn't just be, oh, it's a whatever scene, I ran through a bus. It should be like, and I injured how many people, and
Yeah, and
like,
he gets
are they
arrested
okay?
and-
Like,
yeah.
is
like
that-
he
or
says it right
something?
here. He's like,
I think I cut a bus in half.
yeah, it's like he's already like, oh my god, what is happening?
Well, no,
That's
but
fine.
But to me, it seems like, oh, he just lists, I just cut a bus in half, and oh, the suit's weird, and then they're just gonna forget about it entirely. Like,
All right,
just like,
this is the other
okay.
detail that really irritates me. So he's like, wow,
Yes,
I'm
zero
falling.
inertia.
Like, and then he's like, falling, the wings catch him. His body should go whoop, like it
Like
should go
he
yo-yo.
splash in the water a little bit.
He's
yeah,
already
yeah.
like, he's
No
already like,
inertia.
oh, I'm hovering. And it's like, why would you in the shock already have your body ready to like this? You would, at least for a second, just
You'd be
Yeah, you'd be
flop, relaxed.
defensively
Yeah.
injuring yourself at that point. Yeah.
details like this are what irritate me the most. I don't care about Uncle Lopez and his fascist comment. 'Cause apparently he's supposed to be like a conspiracy theorist kook anyway. I mean, he's got a mullet, he's got his fingernails painted. He's an
Oh,
oddball.
God.
So fine. That's whatever. These details, it starts
That's
adding
that
up.
puto.
It starts adding up. And yeah, this music. What am I? You should have some sort of Mexican Latin based like music, even if you're doing like rap or orchestrated pop trailer.
Like some
music, it should
Il
have
Niño.
some theme to it.
I thought you were gonna say we need some Mexican water. It's too clean or something.
They don't even have Corona or Modelo or Dos
Corona.
Equis in here. Oh my god!
Yeah,
No one's
my
eating
friend.
tacos or street tacos or there's nothing
Why
in
not
here that
roll?
says Latin.
No roach coaches.
Yeah. Because they don't care, man. They don't.
Yeah, it's
care.
all superficial.
Well, I guess this is it too. I mean, like the way that this scene is happening is like, oh, it's a fun loop-de-doo scene still, and it's like, I know. I kind of wish it was more of on the horrific side of like, what in the like, not just oh no, I'm going on a wacky adventure with this. It's like it should. I'm okay if it starts to get a little funnier as it goes, but like I feel like it should start off at least like horrifying. Like, what is going on here? This weird symbiote things in my head now. Like, what?
CG Susan Sarandon.
Yeah,
our next
see her
next
hair.
villain.
See her hair. She's white with sort of Donald Trump blonde-esque.
Yeah.
hair. This was orchestrated. Let me see, Susan. Let's see what her normal hair color is.
Well, she's normally like like
Yeah,
dark
she's sort of red. So they've purposely dyed her hair Trump-like. See what I mean?
I don't really see the connection to Trump.
I think you're reading into it a little bit.
I just see it as I'm so tired that like the only time we've seen a villain that wasn't a white male was in the what was it, the Multiverse of Madness, and they just blackwashed Kang. It's like he was originally supposed to be that, but you like race swapped him in there as a new character, and it's like
also Falcon and his black family could not get a loan, not because of racism, Falcon and Winter Soldier, but because a black man dictated that you should not get a loan.
wow.
They don't even think out their own agenda. That's
Well, you remember that scene when like they had like it was the Winter Soldier and Falcon were like fighting in the streets after meeting the original Captain America guy, like the black version of him. And also the police are like, sir, is he bothering you? And it's like, dude, this guy literally saved the planet. Like, you should know who, that, like, imagine like you're breaking up a fight and Michael Jordan is there and you're like, is this Michael Jordan looking guy bothering you? It's like, no, I'd be like, dude, can I have your autograph?
I'd like to say it was Shaq or something. It's like, hey, are you
very recognizable person? Like that whole race thing doesn't work when you're a celebrity. Sorry, but
the I was gonna comment on that scene when he has the sword. He makes a sword. That whole like sword flip thing. I got like super Power Ranger vibes from that. I was like,
I was thinking like Berserker or something.
Well, what's funny is that
Fantasy VII.
When Power Rangers does their things, I think it's fine. Honestly, like it's but with this. It's more like how is this kid skilled at anything or
exactly.
Like I thought there'd be a little more of a challenge, like with he has this new tech, but does he know how to use it, kind of a thing? And
exactly,
Well, Power Rangers is just it was a kabuki theater. They just overdubbed something that wasn't even what they were saying. It's absolutely hilarious. You know, like the Yellow Ranger in the Japanese version is in Go Ranger is a dude. That's why Trini, the Yellow Ranger in the show,
doesn't have a little skirt flap.
Because it was a dude. So you've been checking out man ass that whole time, people.
Yep, that in mind.
What all comes in this Highborn?
Ooh. So that is pretty much all the books. So you get both covers, the regular cover by Clayton Barton, my cover, variant A, the Fan Art Friday book, the black and white book, and then there's also the Ashcan. And so the Ashcan is just Clayton Barton's breakdowns and layouts because they're phenomenal. And I like looking at them. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to create a book just with his stuff. So that's all 24 pages. The black and white version is the whole book, all 48 pages, just the black and white and the dialogue, just so people know. So that'll get you all the books at a discount, $95. Got the digital that you mentioned earlier, and you could add on book 1 and 2 in the digital tier if you want, if you need to catch up if you haven't gotten them. Black and white version is only $20, so you can get that. The other books are $25, and they all come signed. They'll be perfect bound, really nice.
Perfect bound, is that like a trade paperback or it's squared? Okay.
Yeah. So not like.
So if you don't know, I'm a noob with comics. I got into comics because of CG and EBS because I was from the Star Wars side with the High Council. But so yeah, no matter how much I actually read, I just always go about this like I'm a noob. So that's why I asked.
No worries, man. Yeah, and there are thicker books too. It's like 48 pages. If it was like 20, I'd probably do the staple, saddle stitch they call it. But yeah, so I'm doing the perfect bound Fan Art Friday book. So you talked about my Fan Art Friday show, 11 a.m. Pacific time on Fridays on my YouTube channel. first person to comment with a character, I will draw it on stream, and then if you want it, I'll give you the original art. You just pay shipping and handling.
Oh shit!
So I've been doing that for 2 years, and so I'm going to put it all together in the book, and you can get all that black and white beauty full artwork.
Curse you, day job.
Sorry, I was trying to look at the actual image.
Yeah, if you scroll down, there's a little bit bigger in the body of the text. Yeah, there you go. There's a bit bigger image. The cover is kind of crazy. I went a little insane with how I did it, but it's basically a whole bunch of images overlapping and inside and outside of each other. It's kind of cool.
Like Morgan Ainsland.
Yeah, it's Morgan.
Oh, hell yeah.
So then just a bunch of other images floating in there. There's a silhouette on the bottom from Phil Pop's.
Oh, yeah.
His book. So yeah, there's a lot of different CG books I did characters for, so they'll all be in there. I'm going to give credit to each of the guys. Hopefully have links and stuff where you could find them if you don't know about them yet. Did a few of Mark Polton's work. So yeah, that's a fun one.
Damn, dude.
Oh, you got Grogu and
Yep. What's her name?
Cara Dune.
Cara Dune. There you go.
Is this
It's the Little Mermaid.
Okay.
She doesn't look like a hammerhead.
Is this oh, what do you call it? The Ace.
Yeah. His character.
The Ace's character? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
I want to call her is it Angeline? I think it's Angeline.
I think so.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yep. And then I see He-Man, and then I see, my name is Arokasaki, but you may call me the Shredder. And ARO.
Yep, ARO. So yeah, lots of cool stuff in there. So that's the art book.
That is awesome, man.
What is your artistic inspiration like that like you're a student of, whether directly or just what you were like starting to draw like?
Definitely anything Jim Lee. Early 90s when I first started collecting Image, it was like Jim Lee, his art spoke to me. So him, Silvestri, they're like my top two. And then I kind of just bring in other influences like Joe Mad, even I like his style, J. Scott Campbell, Chris Bacalo, but yeah, honestly, you could see Jim Lee's influence on me. I love his, and then Scott Williams inks are like the best, so I'm like, all right, I want to ink like Scott Williams. I want to just, yeah, that's what I do.
Who was the guy you were talking about in your stream about? You're saying you're using like a new marker.
New marker.
You're saying you got to use like a lot of pressure to draw.
Oh yeah, Matt Banning. He was the inker on The Darkness, I think, with Silvestri. But yeah, inking with a crow quill. So it's like kind of like the nib. Yeah. So
those glass ones.
What's that?
Have you ever seen those glass nibs?
No.
Oh yeah, it's like a fountain pen style.
Ah.
Yeah.
I've not tried that.
Yeah. Sorry, it's like super. Like I've seen a couple of artists. Most of the artists I know work digitally, so it's a rarity to find artists that are still, because to me, like traditional art is like the top of the heap, because there is no edit undo.
Yeah.
When you see some of the tools of the trade, it's like, I don't even want to touch that.
Yeah. I want to up my inking game. I've tried to use the crow quill in the past, and I just never got the hang of it. But I was at WonderCon a few weekends ago, and Matt Banning, I love his work. I got some of his prints. Let me see. Here's one of my faves. Cable Wolverine. You guys have probably seen this cover, but his inks are just pretty, man. So Stevens Platt. So I was just picking his brain. I'm like, what do you use the ink with? And he's like, I use, the crow quill. I'm like, really, dude? I'm like, I can't do that. And so he gave me a lot of tips that I shared on the stream. But yeah, man, because I use microns. I do use a brush for my holding lines, which are these guys. It's called a Bimoji pen. It's a really nice brush tip. And then microns. But if I could do it, better, I will.
Were you formally trained?
I did 2 years of art college, which I learned photography, I learned fine arts, I learned Photoshop, like digital art. It was called the Delaware College of Art and Design. So I did 2 years there, got my associates, and then after that, I actually went to Bible college in Boston, where I met my wife, and then
Wait, Bible college?
Yeah. So I was like, I was going to study to be a youth pastor, but honestly, I felt the Lord was telling me to keep pursuing my art. So I left, I did, and here I am.
Nice.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
No, me and Rookie.
So sorry.
No, you go on.
So are you in New England or?
No. So I grew up in New Jersey. The college was in New England and Boston. My wife is from California. She went to Boston to college. That's where we met. And so now I'm in California.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, San Diego.
Yep.
Sweet, man.
Nice. I bet that's a big culture shock for you.
I mean, maybe not. I mean, I've been here for 15 plus years. Let's see, 15, maybe 17. So, I mean, it hasn't, it is now, but you know, the big shock was the weather. I don't get the 4 seasons anymore.
Nope.
Just,
I loved it there, man. I lived where the Dalmatians lived. Over near, so it's still technically San Diego. It's over near the racetrack. That near the
Del Mar. Yeah.
It was beautiful down there.
It's really nice there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all like, oh man, it rained for 3 days straight. Meanwhile, here in New England, it's rained for the last 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, man. We've gotten a lot of rain this year, actually. We've gotten I think we're almost up to 20 inches of rain, which is like, our normal is like 5 for the year. So we're getting rained on like crazy.
Oh man. Must get green then finally, huh?
It is. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Is that you, Chris, with the extra noise in the background, or is that Rookie?
I don't think it's me. I don't have any TV or anything on.
Again, my mom's TV is like way out on the other side of the house. I don't know if that's getting picked up or not because
I'll mute myself.
Whole separate room.
That's probably Rookie's mom.
No, I'll mute myself.
Is it gone?
Yeah,
I think when Chris muted.
Wow, my mic's so good now, I guess, because it just picks up that shit from way across there.
Yeah, the only ambient noise I have here is my god-awful cooling solution on my Alienware. Those morons don't know how to build an air cooling solution in their computer, so it sounds like an aircraft carrier every time that the CPU gets taxed above 30%.
Right.
So I'm trying to lower the noise gate on my mic. Yeah, it's like a dust buster going off.
I do that sometimes. I open a web page and it's like,
yeah.
I'm like, wait, whoa, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I got OBS open and it's like, it's like the Maxell commercial, I'm like, what the hell?
Crazy.
Yeah. So we didn't really talk about Commander Noble, but his is the other story. He's kind of has the Marine background. He was in the Marines before 9/11, and then after 9/11, he goes to Afghanistan. And that's when he has his NDE. He's indestructible, so he gets to destroy some terrorists. It's gonna be pretty epic. Yeah. And then I blurred out what he's holding because I knew if somebody saw it and reported me, I'd probably get my Indiegogo campaign flagged. So I'm like,
I like the blood dripping. It's enough of a hint.
Yeah.
I assume there's gonna be a combat dildo or something.
Yeah, we hold a contest. Guess what's behind the question mark?
A bloody dildo.
We'll use it for close encounters. That's all.
Man, no, that is sweet.
Yeah. So, and then his story. So in book 1 and 2, I allude to a lot of backstory between him and Vengeant, and so they have a lot of history. So I'm gonna start to tell that story, and yeah, and then it's also gonna come the second story arc, like book 5. It'll introduce us to new characters that'll be brought to light then. So it's serving 2 purposes.
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm excited to read these all 3 issues.
Cool, man.
How far do you see this story going issue wise? Like if you unlimited, you're getting funded each time. How far do you see yourself going?
As far as people will take me, as far as funding, yeah. The regular series will be ongoing, as far as I can go with it. The Origins books will be only as many characters as I have, and so that won't be ongoing. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to take this as far as I can for sure. And yeah.
Sorry, I'm taking in the art.
Yeah, no worries. So book 1, I'm almost out of my first printing, so I'm gonna have a second printing on book 1. So I have a new cover there on the left. Book 2, I've got plenty of. I still have other, Matt Costin did a cover, Aaron Lepresti did a cover, Kanan White did a cover as well. which
Oh,
are
wow.
they're all awesome. So I still have some of those. They're on my website, ericninaltowskiart.com. There's a link there down the bottom, says click here. So if you guys want first printings or you want your book sooner, just order them on my website and you can get them right away.
Nice.
Oh, I was going to ask you, what kind of name is Ninaltowski?
Polish. It's Polish.
Okay.
Cool.
Have you gone back to the old country? Do you have like ties at all?
No, all my Polish family is here in the States. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Now my wife's side, her dad was actually born in Germany.
Oh,
so
good.
yeah. So, but I have not visited Germany, but we do plan to get over there because her brother, her uncle, her dad's brother, he goes over there a lot. He was in the military, and so he loves Germany.
Yeah.
So it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Germany.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
I've only been, I want to say we landed for like, when I went to Afghanistan, we like had like a layover in Germany. Then we continued on. So it was no like fun sightseeing. It was just this pit stop.
Yeah.
Stuck in the
Was it
airport
in
for
Leipzig or
probably,
Frankfurt? Yeah.
I can't remember, but yeah, it was like, you're not even leaving the airport. You're just,
Oof.
yeah, you're just there. I was in, my goal is Romania. I want to go. And we actually stopped from on exfil back to America. We stopped in Romania. I had no idea we had a base there. And I was 2 hours from Castle Dracula, my favorite historic figure. I think the unsung hero of Western civilization.
Yep.
Is Vlad. And
he's a hero to the Romanians, man. Vlad Tepes?
Definitely. That would make sense. But historically, they would paint Vlad as Pontius Pilate handing over Christ. So he was not, for whatever reason, his own allies vilified him.
Well, it was because of his cruel, like, here's the thing is like civilization isn't built by nice people. And that guy was an evil bastard, but what he did was good.
Necessary evil.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. Is his Forest of the Impaled kept the Muslim horde from converting Romania into another Ottoman Empire conquest. Like he protected Europe from basically becoming another Turkey. Or
it makes me sad because he actually was in talks with the Pope. So he was in talks with the Pope to get another crusade against the Ottomans. And they're like, "Yeah, we're doing it." And then the Pope died, and the next Pope's like, screw that. Maybe. Well, I want to say Vlad was a Catholic convert because of like alliance or whatever. So it wasn't like, well, that's an Orthodox, so screw that guy. It was just, yeah, we've had enough crusades. Country, the continent is not in fervor for that anymore. So, but yeah, I want to go to Europe and Romania specifically because of that history.
Very cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, Shadow Sentry. Actually, speaking of Vlad, the main Hellborn, his name is Marcion, and which means firstborn of Satan. So he has very kind of like vampirist vibes going on. So anyway, but the Shadow Sentry seeks to kind of like, okay, there's all these myths. Well, the myths have been around for a long time. Well, but the reason is because the Hellborn have been there for a while, and Satan's been trying to influence our world and kind of, invade it in different ways throughout history. So Shadow Sentry seeks to kind of like, put a spin on that and like, oh, that's why we have all these myths of werewolves and Frankenstein and Dracula and all that kind of stuff. So
what was the acronym or the abbreviation you gave for the people who had the near deaths?
NDE.
NDEs. So near death experience.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So
I didn't know what that was when you said NDE. I'm like, I think I know what you said.
Louder for the people in the back.
I'm glad you did that.
Near death experience.
That's sweet, man. Like it's a whole. So I mean, you essentially created a universe of unlimited possibilities because of that one convention you've set up. You could literally make like any character you want now. It could be explained as a highborn or a hellborn.
Yeah. That's like, I hope to get into that kind of history and stuff. And Marcion is a very old character. So when I tell his origin story, which I hope to do next, I kind of get to delve in all that and all that cool stuff. So yeah.
No, that's actually really coul. What, if you don't mind me asking, what blend of Christian are you?
When you say blend, you mean like
denomination.
Denomination.
okay?
If you're non-denominational, that could be a big catch-all too. So
Yeah, no, I started out like more Baptist. Now I'd say I'm like Reformed Baptist.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
No, me and Ricky are always having conversations because he didn't grow up with religion really at all. And more with watching films and talking about stories and some of the like triggerings in our sphere of like Last of Us or whatever. I have to explain to him my knowledge of Christendom being mostly Catholic. We started Jehovah's Witness Baptist and we worked away to Catholicism. I'm out of it all now, but I find myself studying it more as an atheist than ever when I was in. So it's always interesting.
That's funny. I started as a Catholic and then went to Jehovah's Witness. I think my dad tried Mormonism, and then I went Catholic again, then Baptist, and now here I am. But
wow,
that is interesting.
That's quite the ride.
Yeah, most people are like, "Wow, how'd you go from Witness to Catholic?" And then I hear you Catholic to Jehovah's Witness, and then
record skip.
Yeah,
wow, that is interesting.
That's because of my dad. So my dad, for some reason, you know, he was with the Catholic Church. There's something he didn't agree with. So then when he's like, you know, tried something else, he didn't agree with the Jehovah's Witness because he's like, well, we can't celebrate birthdays. I was a baseball player, so he's like, you can't play sports. He's like, no, we're out.
Wait,
man,
I didn't wait. Jehovah's Witness can't even play sports.
Yeah,
why is that?
One sucks.
You
can't enjoy life.
Maybe it's because it's like you're part of the world. You're joining this organization that's worldly. I don't know. That's what he said. I honestly, I was too young to really kind of like. I just heard what he said, but I didn't know why or. But no birthdays, no sports. That was what kind of killed it for him. So.
Yeah.
But,
that is interesting.
Yeah. So, and then it was kind of like nothing for a long time. Then my stepfather passed away, and then my mom started going back to church, and we went back to Catholic church because that's what she knew. And my mom and dad divorced when I was really young, so they were kind of split, and they kind of did their own thing. So yeah. So then I went Catholic church, then Baptist. Yeah.
Nice.
So.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm always having these conversations. Usually I'm trying to explain something to Rookie with anything Christian. I'm always going with like the Catholic view. And then sometimes I have to like, all right, well, like this is how I understand it from that view. But then like, here's like the baseline of the story. And then I'm like, well, some veins think this or that, like with the predestination of like Calvin based like Baptist and stuff where it's like, getting murky territory, and it's fun. We were watching Planet of the Apes yesterday, the original, and once you get into like the courtroom sequence, and then you're saying all stuff about like, oh, yeah, you know, what good will it do to study human behavior? They're just stupid animals, and I'm like, oh, Rookie's like, wow, do people really think this with like religion? And I'm like, oh yeah, definitely, you know, and.
Well, like you can draw like information from like other animals that aren't primates and get information from that's useful. So why not one that's humans?
Yeah, no, it's funny because Rookie's never really come, especially you're up in Washington, so you never, I assume, don't even see a lot of church people.
Well, what's funny is that there's like 80 fucking churches in like, you know, a couple mile radius, but yeah, I don't really think it's like church goers really notice them. But yeah,
no interaction.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Well, it's funny because there's like in the downtown area where I live, within a mile, there's 3 different Lutheran churches, and I'm like, how did that happen? You know, like Lutheran's mostly Germanic based. Even when you get like Americans blending and all that, it's just like, why would you have 3 different ones? I don't know. I'm always amazed by it.
Yeah, there's so many churches in my neighborhood. Like if you came here from a certain church, I'm sure we have one for you. Like there's a lot of them. I can't tell you. There's a Russian church, a People's Church, and a bunch of other ones. I don't know.
Are you insinuating Russians aren't people?
No, the opposite. I'm saying it doesn't matter what you are, there's one for you. So.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting with your Christianity. How much does that inform your writing? Are you experiencing when you're writing? And this seems to be like a big factor of your life. You've thought about pursuing like a career in this. are you? I'm not asking if you're propagandizing in your books. It doesn't seem like you're doing that. But do you think maybe a route that you're doing is kind of like Tolkien, where his Catholicism just spews from the page with some of like the world building? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Darkness and light.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, so, Shadow Sentry is all about, yeah, like he said, darkness and light. So, I mean, there are bits and pieces. I'm definitely not trying to propagandize. It's just my Christianity is like kind of give me the ideas and to build this world. You know what I mean? So, you know, but like in book 2, there's like a scene where Bloodbane and Brazen are fighting, and it's like, they're like egging each other on, and Bloodbane's like, calling him out, like, oh, you think you could win this battle? Like, blah, blah, blah. And so Brazen brings up his faith, it's like, hey, it's not in my hands. Like, it's in the Lord's hands. He doesn't say that, but like, I can only control what I do. I don't control the outcome is what he says, basically. So like little lines like that, it's like that, that's informed by my beliefs. Cause it's like, I can't control everything that happens, but I know, God's in control. Right. So, I mean, little things like that work its way in there, but it's not, it's not like a Christian book. It's just a book based on things you'll find in the Bible, and, good versus evil, heaven and hell. It's all, the premise is there,
Do you currently, or do you maybe plan to have any kind of like devil's advocate kind of negs on that like a character that kind of like we're talking about with like the woke thing, where it's like, yeah, this could be a purposeful propaganda by Matt Reeves or the DC or whatever with the Catwoman line, or it could just be some people actually view this, and I'm not going to shirk away from including that in the world interaction. Do you have anything like that possibly?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because the characters themselves, I mean, again, they're just humans, so they have these experiences, but they're bringing their previous experiences with them. So whether they have a certain political viewpoint or whatever, like, yeah, I could totally see that. So yeah, but that'll require me to give it some thinking.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, and then too, the cool thing is, like, even if a Hellborn character, they have their near-death experience, they're still on the earth. They're still like what I would call redeemable. You know what I mean? So the bad guys could potentially become a good guy later on, and vice versa. Like Ganon on the Shadow Sentry, he has not had a NDE, and he's not a Highborn. You know what I mean? So things like that. So I could play with that a little bit as well.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so I'm a little confused with the Highborn or the Hellborn. Are these like angels and demons that are brought physical form on this earth?
No,
that they already are
Bad
spiritual?
people and good people.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're humans. They die, but they're not like totally 100%. Well, how do I say this? They come back. So they die, but it's like, they're in that space where they can come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the mulligan.
What's that?
It's like a mulligan. It's like, hey, you're going to hell, but we're going to give you a chance to avoid it.
Kind of like Spawn, maybe?
Kind of like Spawn, yeah. That's how I envision like the Hellborn. Yeah. So they're sent back. They're given these powers. Yeah. I like that analogy.
If it's not a spoiler for your work so far, what is the rationale for God or his underlings on the Highborn side to send people back?
Why would God send people back?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, Satan started it. He's trying to like invade our world via these Hellborn, and so God's, his counteraction is to make his own, similarly, so that he has the Highborn. And just so people know, so the Shadow Sentry is a team of Highborn, but there's Highborn in Europe, there's Highborn in California. The Shadow Sentry is just one small group in like Pennsylvania. So yeah, so there's lots of Hellborn all over, but Shadow Sentry is just a group of the Hellborn. They get a cool name. The Hellborn are just the Hellborn.
Nice.
So far.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you could totally do like a Suicide Squad, like a name for the bad guys,
Yeah. Yeah. There is one cool name I came up with for like the old Hellborn, which is the Helith Eldar. So like they're the old Hellborn. It's the Helith Eldar. So and Martian was part of that group, but some of them died off, which I could tell that later on. But
are there any so you have the Hellborn and you have the Highborn. Are there anybody that ever were one faction and their powers are reflected through their faction, and then they change factions and that power changes? Like Lucifer, for example. His name literally means bringer of light. He was God's right hand man, but now he's the shaitan. Now he's Satan, basically. You know, the king of the bad guys.
Right. Yeah. Not right now. No. Just because I'm still developing those characters. You know, they're still the Hellborn. I haven't gotten that far into it where I could do that little switcheroo, but I totally could, and that sounds awesome, man.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Yeah.
No, that's actually interesting. It's like, what makes a highborn turn? It's like, you know what? I'm gonna
he goes Super Saiyan. You know, he's got like the red aura, and then he like gets redeemed, and suddenly, boom, it's gold, and they're like, oh shit, what's happening? And they gets better powers. It's like, oh damn. Yeah. I'm thinking action figures, man.
Yeah. And that's why, so Jason Augustine, he's like the hybrid, right? So he's the son of a highborn and a hellborn. So I kind of I'm playing with that a little bit. And so he's in book 1, book 2 of the regular series. But, you know, it's like, okay, well, is he going to go with the good side, or is he going to be with the bad side? You know, is he going to lead the war, you know, against the hellborn, or is he going to join them type thing? So it's kind of like, you don't know what's going to happen with him, and you get to kind of follow his journey.
Oh, so he meets bad guy or hellborn essentially that are like trying to like, hey man, you know, we have no need, we have no fight.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Do you plan on having God physically, or you know, like some sort of like meeting of characters where it's like, hey, I'm before God, or he's directing? Is there any of that?
The Metatron.
If I did, it would probably just be like bright light, because you know, like I can't picture. I mean, spirit, right? So you can't really picture him. Jesus is his physical form, but God himself, I mean, it's like he really doesn't have a form. So if I did, it would just be bright, blinding light, which I might do with Commander Noble's story, because he does have a, you know, in his near-death experience, he sees God.
He's not going to be like Frieza, like this isn't even my final form.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen the biblically accurate rendered depictions of some of these angels? It really makes sense when they say "be not afraid," because some of these things are nightmare fuel.
Yeah,
like the cherubim, you know, the ones that like they're depicted in Renaissance art as little Cupid like babies. Yeah. No, these things are 4-faced, cloven hoof, like 6-winged, like scary things.
So this is my angel.
Oh,
I think.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Going for epic, you know.
Yes. Look at that light sword.
Yeah. So that's one of the angels. That's the angel Vangelion. He's like Jason's kind of like guardian angel type deal. But,
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Take care of him.
So I definitely wanted like the angels to just be like huge, massive, and just like, yeah, if you really saw one, you'd be like, oh my god. Like,
yeah. Yeah. You look at all the like the Renaissance art, and you're just like, oh, you sweet summer child.
That little tiny one.
Yeah.
What is that?
Like, because like you read in the book, and it's like these people are shitting themselves seeing these things. They wouldn't see a baby and go, "Oh my god!"
Like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, like the Ophanum there, the wheels thing, and then the seraphim. Like that is like, you know, because it's like it's the limitations of mankind is, you know, we cannot truly understand evil or good. We're kind of limited in our perception. So the reason why we see these things is it's beyond our own comprehension. So it's like our own brain trying to piece together. Like they probably don't even look like this. They probably look like normal people, but because of our feeble minds, we're seeing like we're trying to plug a USB port into an HDMI port. Like,
a floppy disk like into the yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, in the Bible it does say that like, you know, some people have seen angels and they just didn't know it because they were in probably human form. And so I play on that too in the book. Yeah. So I'm just trying to take all these different things, you know, and just kind of fit them in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, you didn't know. All of a sudden, bam, turns into the armor and it's got the sword. There's just one panel and it's a pile of poop.
Oh, actually, since we're on it in biblical characters, when I was a kid in Jehovah's Witness, I remember some of these books they'd have like illustrated the beasts in Revelation.
Mm.
I don't think Ricky's ever seen them.
Oh yeah, is there like an apocalypse coming or something, or is there any kind of like end game for the final battle against the Hellborn and the Highborn?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it. So it would definitely be very like, apocalyptic end times. But the question for me is like, well, how do I approach that? Is it really the end times, or is it just like a big, huge battle? So yeah, I want to get to that point, but I just don't know how I'm going to handle it yet. But yeah, I love the idea of Abaddon and like all that stuff, like the final war. So yeah, so it'll get there. It's just, man, how do I tell that, and how do I tell it in a way that's like not just like, oh, it's a huge battle. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Interesting.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Nice. Whoa, what the heck? Is that a
I think
Hydra?
it's the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, so I was always confused because I always thought the Four Horsemen were famine, war, death, and was it pestilence? And apparently that's not true. Like they're actually like that was a renamed version. Like there's one like that's like they're not as cut and dry as that. Like one of them's like conquest and one of them is like battle or something. I can't remember, but they like. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. And they did that in that there was a video game that came out about like the
Darksiders.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell is this? There was like some chick and it was like, oh, she's Wrath or whatever. And I'm like, oh, so she's War? And it's like, no, she's Wrath. I'm like, what's Wrath? Like, isn't that War? Like,
because War is the big dude, right?
Yeah. There's the famine with the scales, death with the scythe, war with the bow, and then was it pestilence or I can't remember, but there was like the big guy in the crown and he had the armor and everything. Oh jeez, what is it? It looks like a Magic the Gathering card.
Yeah, I think this is supposed to be Babylon, or at least that's what most people say. It's like
Babylon. Because like the horns.
Well, the woman I think is supposed to be Babylon. I think in Catholicism, being Catholic, it's like Revelation, all the fear mongering in like Protestantism with Revelation and the end times and the beasts and what do they mean? It's like Catholicism, like, oh, actually, that's like Mary or what? It's like Revelation. There's no real fear mongering Catholicism with besides like, oh, there will be an end times, but you should just live like every day's the end times and be good. It's like a non-issue, but like if you're in Protestantism, Left Behind really like took storm with like the fear mongering of the end times and apocalypse, and I don't know. I just thought I always liked the imagery, because like I'm a kid, I want to be a vet when I was a kid. I love animals and lions. It's like these are supposed to be bad. I'm like, I want this as a toy. 7-headed lion with 10 horns. Like that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's like Battle Cat times 7. It's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like there's more beasts though. I'll have to do some more research. Anyway, sorry.
Man, well, have you ever? So apparently the whole vision of hell or whatever is very different based on like what's actually in like the Bible versus what's in secular books like the Divine Comedy. Like Dante Alighieri, when he wrote the very categorized like circles of hell and all that stuff, like that's not biblical. That's that's a non-canonical book that's talking about. So like apparently
there's like the 7 layers of hell or something like that.
Yeah, and there's like this is for violence, this is for traitors. Satan's got like 3 faces and he's eating like, I don't know, it was like Brutus and Cassius or whatever, and he's got Judas Iscariot. Yeah. Like, and apparently that's not in the Bible, like at all. Like basically the Bible. So like, because I'm Jewish and we had like the whole concept of Gehenna, where the gates of Hinnom, basically like you're thrown into like the pit of fire essentially, and there you go, you're gone. And then there was this other concept we heard where it's like hell is more. It isn't so much of this idea of like you're being cast into something so much as you're not in God's grace essentially. Like he's having a party over here and you're not invited, so you're left on this mortal world to rot. So even in death, you're just kind of like later, like you're just sitting there festering until you're dust, and then nobody cares. But the whole from what I remember reading in the Divine Comedy, it was this very like regulated system of like, this is how this works, and I'm like, oh man, this is pretty complicated. And then it's like, no. Like I had a Christian friend say, no, that's not even remotely how it is. Like the fire in hell is blue because of brimstone. Sulfur burns blue, and it's supposedly you're cast into the pit of fire, and that's and it can be supposedly like some purification thing too, where it's like it's not necessarily an eternal torment. Like sometimes some religions say it is, some say it's not, some say it's like you got to pay your dues essentially. Like you were like, even good people kind of go to hell because they like did a lot of bad stuff. And then there's the only way through heaven is through me, which means that you could be the greatest guy in the world, but if you don't accept Christ, you're not going, man. He's the guy, he's the bouncer at the door. Like, like you don't make good with him, you're not going in.
Yeah. There's in the New Testament, there's like a story of a guy, he dies and he's in, they call it Abraham's bosom. So it's like the good side, right? And then, but there's this huge gulf. And then on the other side is all the people who would be in like Gehenna or like hell. Mm-hmm. And so a guy from the hell side, he's like, give me a cup of water, and, yelling across the chasm. So it kind of has like that, what you're saying. Yeah. Like there's the bad part, there's the good part. So it's like, yeah, but it was separated because, can't get to the other side. But,
yeah. That's gotta suck. Look at that awesome party over there. And you're like looking at, you're like, yeah.
And the one dude's telling him like, send somebody, send Moses, or send somebody to tell my brother like, hell is real. Like, don't let him make the same mistake I did. And he's like, hey, they've got Moses and the prophets to listen to. So if they don't listen to them, sorry, bro.
Yeah, he's on his own, man.
Yeah,
he had the same chance we did.
Right. Yeah.
Whew, man, we really got deep and philosophical here. That's awesome.
No, you're fine. Me and Chris already talked about this, so I'm just like letting them go with you.
Yeah, man.
No, I love that. I love when you can look at a franchise like this, like a property, and be like, I wonder what the action figures are going to look like. I wonder what the movie. I wonder who's going to play in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many like awesome possibilities in this that versus like I've seen some comics where it's like, okay, cool, it's a one-off, but that's it. Like you once you reached it, it's done. Like there's no expansion, nothing. Yeah. So it's awesome to see that expandability.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'd like to take this as far as I can for sure. Because even when I came, when comics get hit, and I'm like, all right, I want to do something. I want to have my own IP. Mm-hmm. I was like, I have all these stories. I've got like a fantasy story. I've got a sci-fi story. I've got Shadow Sentry. So it was like I had to zero in on one. I'm like, I can only do one. So it was like I had to do Shadow Sentry because I just felt like I had that staying power. I could just keep going with it for so long. So yeah. So I'm excited about it, man.
Hell yeah.
Have you looked at all into getting action figures made?
I've not. I'm like, I'm not there yet.
What do you call it? I don't know if you've talked to him before, but I haven't backed his stuff just because when he's been campaigning, I haven't had the money. But I want to say it's Dave Brink. I did.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect 10.
Perfect 10. Yeah, he's
American Bliss.
Yeah, he's got. I saw on his Twitter, he's got someone making a little statuette or something of his character. So maybe that route first.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, throwing it out there for you. Some ideas.
Yeah, I know. I see people with their action figures. I'm like jealous. I'm like but yeah, I'm just not there yet. Well, Mark Polton, who wrote the Hopscotch story, he just had a guy made like he posted on Twitter, and it's I think it's U.S. Assassin and the dog.
Nice. Yeah, I saw those. Those are sweet. Yeah, I do 3D printing, and like I printed out figurines from like, because I'm fantasy stuff, so like mine's all like the tabletop miniatures. Okay. And I got like and I also worked at video games, so I kind of imbued them with NFC technology. Like if you've ever heard of Amiibo, you swipe those suckers and you're like Amiibo, and it like brings you a website or brings you little digital stuff.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Very cool.
Man.
I'm trying to see this figure you're talking about.
Yeah, it's got like a wolf. It's like
it's Bazooka Dog, I believe.
Yeah.
Like got this huge like missile rack on the side. Yeah. But it's awesome because he puts him next to Snake Eyes, and then
okay.
Yeah, Timber looks like a wuss next to him.
Let me share it really quick.
Yeah, very cool.
Sure.
Yeah, look at that.
That's cool.
Target acquired.
Yeah, the dog's like part cyborg, like just pops guns out of him.
Operation
Ooh.
Good Boy complete.
Dude, have you watched the show Love, Death, and Robots?
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember have you seen the one with the bear?
Is it second season?
I think it's second season.
I
Okay,
haven't seen the second one.
I haven't seen all the second one. I've seen a few of them. The second one, the one that was awesome to me was the one where they're fighting their kickboxing or whatever, but it's like they're using these
Big
like
monsters.
animals. Yeah,
and she gets killed or something, and
that was sick.
the
Oh, that was
animation
so
was
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, so I got this one with like the cyborg bear.
Okay. Oh,
Damn.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
It's pretty brutal.
That's
Here's some of the
awesome.
art for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that series.
Yeah. The
Yeah, the second season is not as good as the first, but there's one that stuck with me. It was let me see.
I like the werewolf one. I think they're werewolves. They're kind of
In Afghanistan?
yeah.
Or Iraq, yeah.
Yep.
That was good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they treated that guy like crap too.
This one though, it's got like this crab.
Giant
So
enemy
it's like
crab.
we're in like a Cthulhu world, and so like a pirate ship, and then there's like this mutiny going on, and so he's like slowly killing off the whole crew with the crabs. And he makes like a deal with this mother crab while it's like hatching her eggs in the holding of the ship, and I don't know. The end result's like, well, what was the point of that? But it's such a weird style of animation because it's like super realistic, but then it's like stylized.
Yeah, stylized. Yeah, there was a game that came out called I think it was called Brink. That was like that. It was a shooter. It's like everybody's like super high res textures and stuff, but yet everything was like it looked like spitting image from the 80s. Or that Genesis video there, Land of Confusion.
Oh, right. That's funny.
Oh, warped.
Yeah.
Are you reading any current comics? Is there anything that you still follow?
Yeah, so I still follow Batman in different forms, like not the main series anymore, but I love Sean Gordon Murphy's stuff he's doing with Batman.
Yeah, I got to catch up on that. But yeah, I like what he's done.
Yeah, I'm getting the new Mark Silvestri series. That's been awesome so far.
Is that Batman as well?
Yeah, Batman. I forget the thing, but the tagline, but it's like Batman and Joker. Yeah, it's been really good. Beyond that, I've been getting Spawn still, and every once in a while I'll pick up like something different. So I picked up Ronin from Frank Miller because I saw Philip Tan's work on the cover, and I was like, I didn't even know what the heck it was, but I was like, dude, that cover is amazing. It was black and white, and I wanted to buy it just because of the cover, so I bought it, and then I was like, oh, okay, it's Frank Miller. But the artwork is just like phenomenal. So I'm typically the guy that will buy for the artwork. So if I know the artists, okay, I like Sean Gordon Murphy, I like Jim Lee, I like Silvestri, I'll get their stuff. But other than that, it's just gotta speak to me, and then I just, I'm like you guys, I get a bunch of CG books, a lot of different crowdfunding stuff as well.
Yeah, no, it's been nice to be able to actually back stuff again.
Yeah.
Do a little better economically. So,
Nice.
my problem is backing stuff. It's real vote of confidence if I'm backing you because, and usually it's like I haven't read or watched shit. I just looked at your shit. And I'm like, whoa, okay. If there's a tier that suits me, awesome. I'd love to just get physical, everybody, but I'm trying to make my own comics, so it's like if I'm buying your shit, I'm taking away from myself long term my pot. So if I'm backing you at all, it's a vote of confidence. And also you're on your fourth, but your third funded campaign. So
proven track record
gives me it gives me a vote of confidence as well.
Cool, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So this is indeed a campaign that was also shadow banned then. Like the only way you'll find it is on Google.
Yeah. Even the pre-campaign sign up, I couldn't search it on Indiegogo and it wouldn't come up.
Oh my god.
My first campaign would come up, and I think that was it. So yeah, if you go on Indiegogo and type in Shadow Sentry Origins, I do not think it will come up. Last time I checked.
That means it makes this all the more important to share this link around, because the only way to access this is either through Google or through these direct links.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Even if I'm going to type in Shadow Sentry and
book 1 comes up.
book 1, the Inktober book I did, which was my first campaign, comes up, but that's it. No book 2, no Shadow Sentry Origins. And if I even put in Origins, it still doesn't come up.
Wow.
Why is that? Have you gone elsewhere, or is it because you're selling from your site too, or what?
It's associated with Comicsgate.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I have the book 1 and 2 on my personal website, ericninaltowskiart.com. Go Fund My Comic has done their thing, so I put up a catch-up campaign on there for book 1 and book 2. But yeah, so hopefully this is the last campaign I have to run on Indiegogo. But you know, they ain't being nice to me. So
No. There's so many. So I've, if it weren't for like social media or YouTube, the YouTube streams or Twitter, there's a lot of good books I would have missed out on, because this crap where they're like pulling this like shenanigans of like burying people that like are associated with, they consider a hat group, It's so stupid. It's like that's why people were using Indiegogo versus Kickstarter, because Kickstarter has a little boys club there where like if you're not in, then you might as well just be having it on your own website,
Yeah.
And it's also antithetical to business, because it's like they're taking a cut from you, so it's in their best interest to make you as successful as possible.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Yeah.
So
that's idiotic. I don't know why they would do that to you.
Well, they've done it to so many people, dude. Like Frog G, it's like, this is the nicest guy, and he gets banned, and I'm like, wait, what? He hasn't even said anything controversial. What's going on here?
His bookmarks campaign?
Oh no. No, that was Snuggy Jr. there with the.
Snuggy. Okay.
Yeah. No, Frog G has a book, the Voodoo. I could probably bring up its title, but just that was the one that stuck out to me, because I was like, what the hell's going on? How does this, of all things, get like shadow banned essentially, when it's like this guy has been in everybody's chat, like putting out links and everything, and it's like he hasn't even. It's not even like he's like said anything controversial,
right? Yeah,
and let me see if I can find it. Oh my god,
I don't think I'm controversial. I haven't said it.
Yeah,
no, yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah, what did I do? So okay, it's I'm gonna paste it in the private, because I don't. Okay, it is. There it is. That's Frog G stuff. Yeah, and it's they. I mean, it's in demand now, but like it was still running like live or whatever, and they're just like, nope, you guys made enough. We're not going to talk about you anymore, and they just nuked the whole. Like shadow ban the whole thing, and even I don't know if you're familiar with Simon Poitier or Sim, like he's had they like jerked him around too, where they like basically how you had to censor your thing with a question mark. Well, they didn't tell him any of that until the moment his campaign ended and he was about to collect the money so he could start getting paid and putting this book out, and they're like, oh, by the way, we're not going to give you the money because your campaign has like some questionable stuff on it. And I think they did the same thing to Von Klaus, who he did the Black Turf. And it was like, what are you guys doing? Like, these people are making you money.
Yeah.
Did Sim finally get paid out?
Yeah. Sim. I mean, Sim's a pretty smart guy. He can generally dance through the minefield. And I'm pretty sure Vaughn did the same thing, got through all the bullshit. But it just sucks that it's like the whole point of us on this platform is that it's a symbiotic relationship. You're helping us by spreading the word, and we're helping you by giving you a cut. Like, it's pretty easy.
Huh. Yeah, no, I'm hearing here and there about these shadow bans, but it's shocking for you, especially. It's like, I don't know why they would be banning you. I mean, you're successfully fulfilling. Proven track record. You got what? Is this the fourth campaign?
Fourth campaign, yeah. It's the third book in the Shadow Sentry universe.
Yeah.
What was your first book?
It was Inktober. It was like an Inktober Ashcan. It was basically just to get my feet wet. I hadn't run a campaign before, so I just wanted to kind of do something, get it out there. And so it was, all 30 images from October or 31, but then 10 of them were the Shadow Sentry characters. So it's kind of like a preview of what was to come.
Cool.
So.
I'm looking at it now. Oh shit. Wrong button. There we go. Back. I have to like keep clicking buttons to like actually scroll through.
Yeah, so it was, I think my subject matter, I went all like 90s image characters. So I did Spawn, a bunch of Wildcats, Cyberforce, did Savage Dragon. And then the last 10 were my characters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite war movie? Because I'm looking at this campaign and you're like, feel like blankety blank. And so.
Man, I have a few favorites. I mean, it's hard to pick one, but I love We Were Soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
I love the strategy aspect of that movie. And then Saving Private Ryan was
Oh my god,
epic.
dude, that movie. Okay, I've seen horror movies since I was like 5 years old. Never had a nightmare. I thought Freddy Krueger was hilarious. I saw the first 5-10 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. I have never served. I had nightmares for a month, and I was in my 20s when I saw that whole beach scene, dude. That is perfection. Like, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. That was well done.
I love Saving Private Ryan. Like, I don't know, because I joined watching Black Hawk Down. Like, I want to do that shit. I wanna be that guy. Yeah, I don't have to do the Mogadishu Mile, with no water, but I want to be like, that was the combat I signed up for. And then I went to Afghanistan and I had like 2 firefights. And I was like, fuck.
Man.
Yeah, Jarheads really is like hits it on the head with like the plight of a guy that joins for war and the lottery that it is of actually going. And then once you're there, actually doing anything. Like I probably gamed the most and internet surfed the most while I was deployed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was on YouTube a lot. I wish I knew about like making a channel and whatnot back then, because I'd probably already have been on for a while if I knew about that.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a medic, so it sucked because second base had a couple SF medics, and so we were attached to special forces. For like essentially regular army, we were assigned to these bases. Like, all right, your main mission is like you're the guard of this base. SF does missions. You might get attached, like pieced in with their teams, usually as a driver or a gunner. Yeah, base security was our main priority, and our priority overall as America was stabilizing and supporting the Afghans. Really what it was, well, this is your country, your meat cushions. We'll shoot people after the fact that you like start conflicts.
Oh no.
So it was multifaceted, but yeah, it was like a crappy vacation. I was just like stuck in the gated area, I liked the country, despite it being desolate and mostly desert. Like I saw the beauty of the country, but it's pretty boring.
What movie would you say captured? You said Jarheads. Is that the movie that you say captures like the whole essence of Afghanistan and that war at that time?
Well, my experience, like, there's definitely terrain like Lone Survivor. That's a totally different spot of the country, but I want to say they're in the north when that story takes place. I was in the south, so we're in like the desert mostly.
Gotcha.
Rocky desert. El Paso area is very much like Afghanistan where I was. Yeah, there's like, to people think of the desert usually is like the Sahara with the dunes. That's not Afghan desert. It's just desolate, rocky, like Utah or El Paso or something. But
gotcha.
No, there's little oasis spots too. Like if you've ever been to like the Grand Canyon and around there, like Sedona, it's like that. But then you find little oases with like rivers.
Yeah, Sedona's beautiful.
There's spots like that where I was. And also, like it's very. Besides like having maybe in the cities they got some industry or industrialized, communications wires and all that. It's very much like you're in a Bible country. Like they've not progressed. They maybe have some cars, but people still ride their camels over there. It's just really like they got some guns, they got some cell phones, but you probably wouldn't notice a difference 1,000 years ago besides those little tech things. And maybe they got some t-shirts instead of the typical garb. But yeah, it's very archaic, and I kind of envy them their simplicity of life. Like I wouldn't mind going back there just visiting. It's not like I'm going to go sightsee, but it's just like I don't know. I liked it over there. I don't. I have a lot of not regret, but just like you come back and you realize you get older. Like this shit did nothing. Not even with the pullout that Biden did, but it's like this was nothing. We did nothing. This country's no better for us being there and doing what we did. Because it's like we were invading, but we're not there to conquer. And it's like, what was this? Think of all the broken families because of Iraq and Afghanistan from the military, because deployments, guy gets deployed, his wife cheats on him, he comes back PTSD, beats his kids, kills them, whatever the case. Like all these factors of just military families and soldiers in various ways, they get the deployment money and they come back and then they still spin like they're making deployment money. Any factor you can think of like, what was this for? That's my irritation with this. I don't really know. I don't know anybody that died. There was like probably two people that died from my unit in another whole different unit or different company and spot of the country. Never met them, but so it's like low casualty, especially when I went. But what was this for? That's my biggest, just like
to make people rich.
It's like a missing child, those families that they don't even have a body to bury. It's just like you're just left in this emotional limbo. That's kind of, I guess, the best way to explain my view of the war, because it's like the few casualties solved, like the locals, conflict, like our first base, we were already planning to pull out from that place, leave it to the Afghan army, and we got assigned to another base later on. But it was overran like a month or two after we left, because we've set them up to fail. It's like we gave them Humvees and we're giving them fuel, and it's like they don't have that. So like we've not set them up to thrive within their conditions. So just huge blunder all the way around in so many facets. Also, we would get a Taliban, see, Al-Qaeda's Iraq, maybe they intermingle organizationally, but Taliban's Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda's Iraq. And to fight these people, we would there'd be a guy from the Taliban cell. He would sell out his group or their cachet, and we'd give him immunity and let him walk out with his pay. And then we'd take the cachet or go kill whoever. And then that guy's got money to fund a new cell if he wants, and
you can be the boss
fighting. That seemed to be the main strategy when I was there. It's like you can't buy your enemy, especially say about Vietnam, but that's just it's sort quasi-religious because of communism. But you're fighting an actual religious war that you're not coming to the table to fight them in the way of a religious war, because we want to be nice and look good for the UN. If we were fighting like Israel, where it's we will win, we'll do whatever it takes, or we're here to conquer. There's no. That's the again the limbo state. It's what was this for? That's my irritation. So Jarhead hits the nail on the head for the soldier that joins to fight, and then the plight of a lot of soldiers that this is what you've gone through the brainwashing of boot camp and the culture and all this, and then you do nothing. You get to go and you never get activated for the combat. I relate to that to a degree because I joined to kick in doors and all that romantic valor of war, and didn't really get to do it. Definitely tested myself as a medic a few times treating people, but yeah, it's just I appreciate it. I appreciate having seen a little bit of death, give me some worldview, seeing a totally different culture and their state of existence, and see the privilege we have every day we take for granted, of just the lottery being born here in the West. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a weird one. It's a weird one to look at.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Oh no, you never think me. I joined for totally selfish. Just
you wanted to be the new John Basilone.
There's no valor, no patriotism. It was just like I'm kind of directionless. This gave me to lose weight, and then I got a steady pay from it. But yeah, there's none of the things that people sell you, the meme of like, God and country or any of that, or it's my duty. No.
What, Keith David didn't narrate your life?
Keith David. That would be that would be a huge oversell to get Keith David to narrate my life.
If anybody told a story about your life, would anybody want to hear it?
If I had someone narrate my life, I'd probably pick Bill Cosby. Yes, with his funny, sounds. That'd be great. I'd go for that.
You got like your own
who would you pick to narrate your life, Eric?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes.
Ooh, you're serious. Okay. What about you, Chris?
If I was going comedic, I'd go Jim Carrey because he's my spirit animal.
Let me tell you something.
Okay, so you clearly love the Batman. What do you think about his Riddler, Jim Carrey?
I didn't like it.
Really?
Didn't like it. It was too because I didn't even think that was like the best Jim Carrey. Because like Ace Ventura was just like amazing. I was on the floor rolling around laughing. The Riddler was just like, I don't know. Maybe because it was a villain. I don't know. It was just didn't love it. Yeah, I love Jim Carrey. The Mask was like another one. It was like, it was okay, but it wasn't the best. Jim Carrey. Liar, Liar was funny as heck. Dumb and Dumber. Ace Ventura all day. But yeah, I didn't love the Riddler. But I did that whole movie. I didn't like though too. It was like I just thought the too over the top. Like, give me the dark Michael Keaton Batman.
Oh man, it's funny because I only grew up with the last two Batman of that series, and going back, it's like no, I still not for like some people do like the hilariosity or like, oh, it's so bad it's good. No, Batman and Robin, what a waste of time. It's just stupid. You're only going to enjoy it if you appreciate like this is awful and it's great. I don't watch it. I only watch Forever because I think Forever with Riddler and all that and Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face, I think it's just like it's the perfect mix of zany, over the top, and then also it has like the dark elements of Batman. His cerebral is psychology. I think it hits it perfect. I don't really get Keaton's Batman,
really?
Those two films. I'm just like, like it's like the Beatles. Like I know the stature of the Beatles and what they did to music, but I'm like, yeah, I'll listen to a song, but like I'd rather not hear them. I appreciate them. Thank you for your influence, but I want the other things, and that's kind of I take Keaton, where it's like I guess it's Batman, but I'd rather see something else. That's where I'm at with. I don't understand the adoration for it, especially with people my age or younger. It's like Keaton's Batman. I'm just like,
yeah, I grew up with Keaton as Batman. That was like my first introduction to it. So, but I love the Batmobile. I love, it swings the Batarang around the thing and the Batmobile's going around the side. Like, oh,
yeah,
like, that's what I did with my toys. You know what I mean? Like I could do that. Yeah, but I like Val Kilmer though, man. So you like out of the three, like I'd probably go Keaton and then Val Kilmer and then forget about Clooney, like whatever.
Oh yeah, it's crazy too because like at some point actors kind of show themselves with like who they are, and you watch Clooney's body of work and it's like he's a loner, however suave he is, ladies man, etc. Like he's playing these roles because like it is him. It's not just a role he picked when it's that repetitive of like there's a certain archetype he does. Same with Jim Carrey.
Mhm.
Real life, he's probably doing that Ace Ventura shit, you know, because he's doing it back in Living Color. Ace Ventura is not really new. It's just let's take that guy and put him with this template. And so yeah, that's probably the most underwhelming part about Clooney's Batman is you see his body of work and you're like, that's all we got? Like, it's definitely a director's fault too, but it's just kind of baffling what we got from that one. But yeah, Kilmer did great. He played like a straight man with some of the humor. I love it.
What about Christopher Nolan's Batman?
Yeah, I liked. All right, the third one I really disliked. The first two, like, nailed it. Yeah, the origin story that he did was like awesome, and then yeah, man, Heath Ledger's the Joker was just perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are two great movies. The third one just kind of lost it for me. I didn't like how Bane was. Like, I didn't dig the
Bill
accent.
Cosby.
Yeah.
Totally disagree with you.
The part where he breaks his back, you know, and he's in the cell and he's recuperating, like, I don't feel like they did a great job of like the duration of that. Like, how long would that actually take? You know, it was so quick, and it was like, what? He just broke his freaking back. Like,
you're like, at least a couple of years. Like,
yeah. So it just seems so unrealistic. And
didn't they say it's like the bomb's gonna go off in like 6 months?
Yeah, like
I think that's like your timestamp.
Okay, yeah, but I felt like that was like way too quick. Like 6
No,
months.
I'm not excusing it. They definitely don't portray the time frame.
Yeah,
the passage of time well, because it's like, okay, montage off and on. He's seeing what's going on in Gotham. He's recuperating. He keeps failing at the climb, but yeah.
Isn't Bane supposed to be Latino though? Like, isn't he like a luchador? Like,
I think what Hardy didn't like the voice trying to do that. I think was the problem, and so he just went with like, he can bring himself back in. Let me see. What's going on with Ricky? But yeah, I think that was why he couldn't quite do yeah. I like the voice. Like, it is definitely memeable, but it's memeable because it's cool. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like the more and more I watch, the more and more I pick up on like his jokes and stuff where it's like he's probably wondering why he'd throw a man from a plane after shooting him. Things like that was, and it's like, oh, what if I rip your mask off? And he's like, it'll be extremely painful
for you.
No, like I'm a
funny
big
man
Tom Hardy fan, but like I always, because like my first introduction to Bane was there was a buzz around school back when I was in school in the 90s, and it was like, dude, Batman's dead. I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, seriously, it's on the cover. He gets his back snapped by this big luchador guy. I'm like, no. And then when we saw it, it was on the school bus. Kids like, dude, check it out. I got it from my older brother. And we're like, holy shit. You know, we're all like trying to Xerox it and get copies of it and stuff. And it was like, dude, look at, he just snapped this guy's a monster. You know, they got the venom juice in him and stuff. And it was like, so he's like a wrestler? So you think he could like take on Macho Man or Hulk Hogan? No, he definitely couldn't take on the Ultimate Warrior. You know, like there's all these, but like it was that. And then when you saw Tom Hardy's depiction of it, he was more like less of like a wrestler and more of like a militant with an injury. You know what I mean? Like he was like Darth Vader almost with a Bill Cosby voice. You know.
I've just now looked this up, so this will be fresh for all of us.
No need to
exclusive. Get out of here. Oh my god! Let me try to look in this.
Open
Damn it! I can't read the blurb at the front.
The Brave browser.
Comic book movie. Let's see if we can.
Here we go.
Well, I've got to head out though, real quick. I had to take some dinner,
go.
and I've got to get ready for work soon. Yep. So.
Oh, sweet.
So it's fun hanging out at Back Your Book. It's cool. I'll do the catch up cover and all that.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Too. All right. Have a good
one,
man.
Good to meet you, Brooke.
Yep. You too.
Good to meet you, man. Have a good one.
So this is Chuck Dixon's take on Hardy's performance. Interview with Philly.com, Bane co-creator Chuck Dixon discusses what he thought of Hardy's portrayal. Apparently, Warner Brothers was pressuring Nolan to use the Riddler, which would have been too similar to the Joker, Dixon continued. Plus, the Riddler, like the Joker and so many Batman villains is no challenge against him in a mano fist fight. Batman will wipe the floor with him in that situation. I am beyond glad that Nolan had the juice in Hollywood to stick to his guns. From interviews I've seen, it's clear he understands the character and he gets what we were going for. It's not exactly what I created, but he's physically imposing, and Tom Hardy is one hell of an actor. I can't imagine Bane being portrayed better. Let's see.
All right.
Oh my God, there's gotta pay to read it. Screw you. Let me see. It's different incarnations of the media, including Robert Swinson's performance in Batman and Robin. Staying at the film, the character was an imbecile. He also talks about what he thought of. Okay, so that's funny that he hates Batman and Robin's portrayal. That's the thing too. I'm actually, for my comic, a villain. I'm going to have him kind of in that Batman and Robin Bane role, where it's like, no, he's just mostly dumb muscle. You know, I think it's fine to do. It's just not with an established character like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lift things up and put them down.
Oh my God. But no, I appreciate having you on, man. I think we'll close it out. Any last words? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. As far as the book goes, I appreciate you guys just checking it out. See if it suits your fancy. And yeah, man, that's about it. I appreciate your guys' time. Thanks for having me.
How long do you normally go on your drawing streams?
Like I think an hour and 45 has been like the most. So, hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes.
Okay, so you're getting all that. I was just listening. I wasn't able to watch really. So when you're drawing these pieces, you're getting it all done and inked.
Yeah.
In this, and wow, that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's good work.
I mean, some of them it's like minimal background, one character. Sometimes it's not even full body. It could be, like the Shredder was like kind of half body. But
okay.
Yeah, man. So however I can envision the piece is how I do it, and just have some fun.
Nice. Anything you want to ask Chris before he goes?
Just I'm about to make that 159 and 160.
Oh, your backers. Nice.
Nice. Thank you, man. Very cool.
Sweet. Hopefully you get some more. Let me look at your stretch goals really quick.
I've got the stickers. You've probably seen the 6 a.m. comics guy doing
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I hit him up and bookmarks. What else? I love the trading cards, so I do the trading cards, which we already hit number 1, which will be a hopscotch trading card. So I will do that.
Are you how do I say this? With your trading cards, are you giving like extra info that maybe aren't in the books to like incentivize it, or okay?
Yeah. On the back it has their power rankings, got some additional info, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I see trading cards, it's like that's cool to have art, whatever, but it's like it's not big enough for me to like really post anywhere. And I'm not trading with anybody. I never really get the appeal of trading cards. Like maybe I'll do one in the future when I make mine, but I don't get it for myself. Like,
yeah,
yes,
no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool to have like make it. Might sound negative, but I'm giving you props of like, okay, you're actually making it worthwhile instead of just like, oh, here's a trading card. Look, and I'm just like, what am I doing with that?
Yeah. And two, I'm like thinking of it like, okay, they're like, numbered. So it's like in a series, so eventually it'll be like, oh, well, there's 50 of them or whatever. So in that regard, it's like, oh, I missed, 6 and 7. Let me go back and get them, whatever. If you want to try and collect them all yeah. But what I'm going to do, well, a thought I had was I wanted to do some cool hopscotch trading cards, but it's like hopscotch Halloween. So get different artists to draw her, in a different costume. She could be like Marilyn Monroe. She could be Zealot from the Wildcats, whatever. The artist portrays her. Yeah. And then, but then have like some of the cards are actually metal cards, but you only get one
metal.
So then you're like, oh, well, I want to get the other ones in metal. So then it's kind of like incentivizing you to trade or buy or whatever. Like try to get the other ones that you missed. Because there's only that one metal you're going to get.
Merchandising.
Yep, the kids will love it.
Awesome. Well,
all right, man.
Everyone,
yes. You're at a good round number now, 160.
Thank you so much, man. Awesome.
Yeah, everyone go back for watching replay. Go in the description. His link is there to back the book, and go follow him on Twitter. I'll add that later. But appreciate having Eric on, and see y'all Thursday for All American Beef. And
Yeah.
take care.
Peace.